I'm Kelly Mitchell, and this is Women on Wine, a show designed to help women put their best self forward in business and wine. And each week we will discuss and showcase what's in our glass, along with comprehensive tips for beautiful breakthroughs in life, wine, and work. We bring in the best and the brightest in entrepreneurs to help you enjoy your complete lifestyle and to help you rule your world. Joining me is my partner in wine, Debra Trapin. Welcome to the show, Debra.
Thank you, Kelly. Always fabulous to be here with you.
Wonderful to be here with you as well. Today is episode 89, Luxury Life on a Budget. Is it possible? You drive a Pinto but want a Bentley. Every time a top celeb gets a new couture outfit, you swoon with envy and cry in frustration. It's not over. You need tips and tricks that can make your life feel luxurious. After all, luxury is a state of mind. Money is not always necessary to lead the life you desire. Luxury can be a bubble bath with lavender Epsom salts, a glass of sparkling wine, and some amazing music. Today, we're going to be sharing tips that make you feel a little bit richer. And we begin with a quote. This is from Lappe. Every time you spend money, you're casting a vote for the world you want. The word of the day is luxury. Every time you hear a word of the day, have a sip of your favorite wine. And cheers to you, Debra, and to your luxury lifestyle.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
What's in your glass, girl?
I'm so excited to share what's in my glass because I love this winery, Brian Carter Cellars. I've had a glass or two from them in the past on the show, but this is their, can you see this? Oh my gosh, I just love this label. And what you're going to love is it's called Coursier. It is French for the steed. Like, doesn't just, instead of, they're not saying the horse, right? They're saying the steed. Like, just luxurious, right? What I love about Brian Carter, and this is, they're at Brian Carter Wine on Twitter, and of course, BrianCarterCellars.com, is they are all about the mastery of every wine they put out. And so it's always different. It always just has this uniqueness to it. Now, this is a Bordeaux red. Again, shocking. I've had a couple of Bordeaux's lately, but I love this. It's a great blend. And this is all about steak. It's all about the steak. So you want a red with your steak? This is it. So flipping.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think I want to just run out and buy a bottle, right this minute.
Right. Well, you just come on up and I'll open another bottle because I got a couple in the cellar.
Awesome. Awesome. And in my cellar, as well as my wine cave, I've got Cline, an old vine Zinfandel. It is so amazing. This is a 2013. The chocolate in it stands out the most to me. Whoops. But there are also delightful berries. Now, the alcohol, and I recently learned this, the smoother the wine, usually the higher the alcohol content, especially if it's got fruity finishes. And when we're talking fruity, we're not talking sweet. We're talking more like jammy. So you get the essence of the fruits. So this is a Sonoma wine. And who knew something so new could be so fabulous? I would pair this with a medium rare rack of lamb or with a fire sitting next to somebody I love. You can get in touch with Cline Cellars on Twitter at CLINE, Cline Cellars, or go to their website and check them out, ClineCellars.com. So that's what's in my glass today. And I'm so excited about this discussion we're going to have. So why don't you open it up, Debra?
I would love to. So we're talking about luxury. And I think it's always important that we actually talk about what that means. So I'd say the first point we want to talk about today is how do you define or redefine to understand what luxury means for you right now? I love your analogy of you're looking at the Bentley, but you're driving the Pinto. It's highly unlikely you're going to go from the Pinto to the Bentley in one step. So let's talk about ways to make luxury a bit more obtainable now. Because if you if your definition is 5-star hotel, and really you're a camper. You got a camper. Like that's what your camping is, your vacation. You don't want to be disappointed. So I love to look at luxury as though it's having fabulous people plus divine experiences plus intentional things in my life. And I think that if you look at that, it's nothing in there. I didn't say one thing about cost. And I think that that's what luxury tends to be compared to or defined by cost. And we have some killer tips on how to make luxury affordable. So you want to kick it off with some of your tips, sister?
Absolutely. And I kind of want to add to that too, that luxury is truly a uniquely personal experience. So understanding what luxury means to you means trying a whole bunch of different things and feeling what it feels like to you. Because if you do something that is supposedly luxurious, but it doesn't feel like luxury to you, then it's not luxury. That was like 5 or 6 luxuries, I think. Okay, so when entertaining, like throw out the dinner party. You don't have to like make a full-on meal. First of all, in today's society, we're stressed. So like planning a whole dinner party, executing is a luxury that takes away from your time and from your money. So how to optimize that? I would have a cocktail party instead and garnish with luxury. So there we've got a huge savings. We're looking at garnishes. Instead of making, prime rib, a $150 chunk of prime rib, we're making smaller dishes, but the appointments or the additions to them are what makes it luxurious. So my tip is to change your cheeses from everyday boring at your cocktail party and make them exotic. Drizzle some rosemary infused honey you make yourself right out of the garden, right? Maybe not the honey so much, but, and put it on brie. Just drizzle it on brie and put a sprig from your garden on the plate, right?
Oh, just the sound of it. I'm like, come on over. It's actually sunny here in Seattle today. So that would be fabulous out on the deck. I love that. And I think that, even just when you're scheduling time to meet outside of your home, if your house is a wreck all the time because you're a working parent and there are just toys everywhere, just schedule happy hour, not dinner. You don't have to go for the full meal deal in order to see friends. And it also plays into when you're talking about getting dressed, right? I mean, when we spend appropriate focus on our clothing, our fashion, it makes us feel luxurious. So if you can't afford expensive clothes, at least take your affordable, luxurious clothes to the tailor, right? So if you're, we were talking earlier about H&M, right? Go for it.
I always go into H&M because they have, they're like very trendy. They've got hip stuff. They've got cool stuff. They've got nice colors and really inexpensive. I mean, you can walk in there and get a $10 shirt, which is great. But the thing about maybe feeling more luxurious is not so much going to H&M, which will definitely give you a lot more bang for your buck when you're buying clothes, but having the right fit, having a tailored fit. And that's where we spend, $200 for a pair of pants. Are you kidding me? So my recommendation is to take those H&M pants, spend a little bit of money on a seamstress or a tailor, have them fitted to your body a little bit better, maybe buy them in a size larger so they have a little bit more room to make the adjustments, but you will walk out of there feeling like you walked out of a magazine versus just picking something off the rack.
Absolutely.
And you had one about another world of shopping, because we don't always have to buy new, do we?
We don't, and in the areas that both of us are currently living there's a lot of money. Let's just be real. There are a lot of millionaires and billionaires. I'm in Microsoft land. And so if they're a 3-digit on that badge, they're walking around with a load of cash in the bank. And so they're buying a lot of these really expensive clothes and tossing them out after wearing them once or twice. And so our consignment shopping is fabulous here. Not only consignment shopping in these cute little boutiques, also, the concept of pop and tags, right? So I mean, the rappers are singing about this. This is the next generation, the millennials and beyond, that are focused on, I'm going to repurpose something. I'm going to go and buy, a really nice jacket. And like you're saying, have it tailored. I'm going to spend my $10 on maybe a Calvin Klein jacket and not do the H&M route. So I think that there's options. If you prefer a brand, there's still ways you can have it, but not having to spend all of the money to get it. And I love that.
That's absolutely perfect. I want to talk a little bit about bringing luxury into your life, either via your home or just ways that you can feel a teeny bit more luxurious, because I'm a big lover of flowers. I love flowers, and I've been going through some stuff. We have a little bit of things that I miss in Hawaii, a teeny tiny bit, and one of them is the flowers that they have. So I'm learning how to relearning how to embrace the local flowers here. And as you can see behind me, I've got some roses, right? Now, not everybody has a rose bush. So here's my tip for you on feeling luxurious with flowers. Go to a farmer's market or go to a grocery store and get a mixed bouquet of beautiful flowers. They've got baby's breath in there, a little greenery, and then definitely some punch and color. And then get several inexpensive small vases and sprinkle those little flowers throughout your home. You can go from the kitchen to the bathroom to the bedroom, and have a vase of fresh flowers everywhere. Just having fresh flowers is a luxury that doesn't have to cost you $50 a day. You can get by for maybe $10 a week.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love to use to put my flowers in is the little cur jars, the little canning jars. They can be everything.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking glasses, they can be vases, they can be pen holders. And you just throw like a fun little ribbon, a little bling on there, and voila. So I love that. I love the fresh flowers piece. The other thing is, I think, and for many of us, we are entrepreneurs. A lot of us work from our home or from a cube or a danky office. We don't all have Wall Street corner offices that have beautiful light and beautiful windows. So one of the things that I love to do is, instead of going out to Starbucks or some loud, clanky coffee shop, is to go into Seattle and go to one of my favorite hotels and chill out in the lobby. The lobby always has free Wi-Fi. And so I plan to meet somebody for a happy hour. And then an hour or two before happy hour starts, I go and hang out in the lobby and do some work, bring my laptop. And it always smells good. There's fresh flowers. There's fabulous music going. There's sometimes a fireplace popping in the background. And it's just a luxurious place to work. So, and it's free. Hello, free, free, free. We love that, luxury and free.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think too, seeking out those places that provide luxury without giving you the bad attitude, you may need to check out a couple of hotels that are Four Seasons level to find the right match for you. But always remember, how you're received is a signal of the amount of luxury that you're going to feel from that place. If you don't feel comfortable, get out of there and find another one. Believe me, there are a lot of people that would be very happy to have you in their lobby. You beautiful thing, you.
That is such a great point. And I love that you talked about Four Seasons, because that rolls right into our next point. And that is slow down. A big part of luxury and luxurious living is slowing down. It's not rush, rush, rush. It's savor. And Drew and I, a couple years ago, had the complete pleasure of spending a couple nights at the Four Seasons in Vail. And everyone was telling us about this hot chocolate. Now, I rarely drink hot chocolate. I drink my calories in the form of wine, and I nibble chocolate. But everyone was like, you've got to try this. And so we ordered it. We're sitting in this gorgeous lobby with this huge fireplace roaring in the background, and they deliver what I will put a picture in the post. It is the most magnificent cup of hot chocolate I've ever had in my life. And what I loved about it is it wasn't something that you just guzzle. It didn't come in paper. It didn't have a plastic cover. It actually had this ornate, like, chocolate frame along the top of it. I mean, it was the craziest thing you've ever seen. And we probably took 40 minutes to sip that hot cocoa. And we really enjoyed it. And I'm still talking about it. I think it's been 3 years in October, for crying out loud. And so it's like, wow, like slow down and savor those moments and savor that experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we used to take a, again in Hawaii, we used to take we lived on the water, which was a luxury unto itself. And we would take a boat out to the sunset, and it didn't cost very much. It was really just gas because the boat was there. But again, savoring the experience the way that you were sharing it, it was, you know, in reflection, you can build memories and moments of luxury simply by looking back on what you've had in the past or what you've done in the past, these experiences. It's okay to relive experiences that gave you an unprecedented level of luxury. So for me, going through those memories and remembering what it felt like to have the wind blow through my hair, to bounce on the waves in the boat, and then to get out there and watch that magnificent Hawaiian sunset just slowly tapering off in the breeze is just amazing. But also those kinds of experiences and relishing inexpensive things like you just shared, you know, the hot chocolate at the Four Seasons, it gives you that moment to pause and reflect. And by focusing on what we have and not what we don't have, that adds luxury to our life implicitly right there.
That's so beautiful. Wow. I was like right there with you, floating on the ocean. Just so you know, that's beautiful. So I think one of the other things that we really, you and I and the women and men in our lives are really good about is our words. And I think that you can add luxury to your life with your words, right? You just painted a beautiful picture with your words and telling us about, you know, floating and, oh my goodness. And so I think that you can look at how you're talking. You can look at your vocabulary and add some luxury in there. Instead of saying you're starving. This drives me nuts. We're not starving. Hello. We live in the United States. We're not starving to death here. I tend to use I'm ravenous. And there's just something like, even when I say it, I feel a little sassy. It's like saying, instead of saying, oh, this is delicious, which delicious even is like one of those words that's become kind of mainstream for me. I love scrumptious. Like,
oh, yes.
Scrumptious? It's very Auntie Mame. And for those of you who don't know Auntie Mame, it's a fabulous movie. Watch it. It's wonderful. Rosalind Russell. But it just, you know, you add a little flair in your vocabulary, and you have a favorite. You have a word that you use, Kelly, and I think you know what I'm talking about, that you added this year. It's about, you know.
It's all about the zhuzh.
Oh, I love it.
You know, that word for me, just, it means so much. And I think it parallels perfectly with this conversation, because you take what you have that exists and you add something that makes it better. We talked in the tips about, you know, adding small floral arrangements, putting a drizzle of honey infused or rosemary infused honey on your cheese. Those are zhuzhes. It's something that just takes something else and with a small effort just makes it so much better. Like looking back again at the flowers, if you watched a previous show and I didn't have them, this is the zhuzh. This is a zhuzh that kind of pulled things together. So I love the zhuzh.
I love the zhuzh too. Whenever I use that word now, I think of you, and which is a little added benefit, right? And
absolutely,
a lot of us learned early about using those kind of words, especially those in the Midwest that had Target. My parents used to call it the House of Target. I don't know about yours.
Target, absolutely. Target. Or you're not riding the bus, you are on les bus, darling.
Right. And so I think that, you know, my parents were really good about kind of instilling the, you know, look at, instead of thinking about it as though we're, you know, we're having an affordable meal, it's a fancy meal. You know, we're not le milkshake instead of a milkshake. You know, I mean, it's always like add a little French flair and it feels more fabulous. I love that. I think that's so much fun. And so I think, you know, the last kind of point that I think we're going to talk about today is really when you're talking about luxury and adding more luxury in, part of that is also blessing those who have the luxury that you're seeking. I think that a lot of times it's easy to look at, you know, the Prada carrying woman walking down the street and think, wow, why does she have that and not me? And let's start switching that. You know, the law of attraction, start thinking, you go, girl. Now, universe and world and God, please bring it to me. I'm ready.
Absolutely.
I'm ready and I'm worth it. Bring it on.
Absolutely. Switch it up and stop thinking from the negative state. And, you know, kudos. I think that that's beautiful. There's more wealth in riches. And when I'm talking about riches, I mean, there's more wealth in putting goodness out there than there is being just a taker.
That's so true. And you know, it's also important to remember the people we're surrounding ourselves with. We talk about this when we're talking about goals a lot, but I think it's also important to remember to watch who you're spending your time with. If everyone you're around with is talking about how broke they are and how they can't afford that, you know, that kind of language is like major luxury repellent, people. Be careful of that. And remember, you can afford things. It's about prioritizing. So you might not be able to prioritize the product today, but that doesn't mean you'll never be able to afford it. And again, those words are super important. Anything else, Cal? Anything else on your mind?
Gosh, there's so much, but I think we have like 15 more episodes to do on the topic down the road.
I agree. So then, darling, I think it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, darling.
Yes, darling. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for Women on Wine. Don't forget to share your favorite living the luxurious life affordably with us in the actual social stream. Be sure to use our hashtag, which is #WomenOnWine, as well as follow us on all of the major social media channels with @WomenOnWineTV. For sure, you'll find us there. And on behalf of my darling partner in wine and myself, we wish you a fabulous week ahead filled with divine, delicious, scrumptious, exquisite vino in your crystal. Bisous.
Bisous.